we're back again, and we're doing it. Yeah, we are. Welcome back. Anyway, just playing around. I'm glad that you're here with me this morning, and I don't know if you remember this song, but I have a song for you I wanted to check out a little later on. It's got a little bit of that slap and pop going on. Hey, M. Fish, how you doing? Good morning, Michael. Mark, good morning. Good morning. Beautiful day indeed. We've got a little bit of that, what do you call it? That steam rolling off of the ground this morning. The rolling hills. Do you guys remember a song called Classical Gas? Oh, I'm not in tune. Let's go ahead and get tuned up, and we'll go ahead and start with a little breathing this morning. So this studio is a little, right now it's in a little bit like topsy-turvy mode, so that was my nickname in high school. Mood for a day? Yeah, that's right. That's all right. Just waking up. I said sorry. My phone thought I was talking to it. Thank goodness we have all of these digital assistants everywhere in our lives, huh? Just tracking everything we say and being right there ready for us when we need it. So let's go ahead and just kind of continue breathing, just continue along with the breath work. If you're here joining us, I really appreciate you being here, and even if you're not speaking within the live chat, writing any tunes? Oh, servant of God, can you teach me how to play Marante on guitar? Let me, Toyo, let's take a look, because I can't see what you're saying. Let me see if I can just dial it in here. Bear with me for one moment, please, and we'll see what we can see. Can you teach me how to play T-U-Y-O, Toyo, by Rico Amarante on guitar, chitarra? That's a good question. I will have to look at that. That's a great question. I'll have to take a look at that song and that piece of music, T-U-Y-O. So let's go ahead and start right out today. I know most of us are here. Well, yeah, I've got to say, I'd love to start it right away, but many of us are here specifically for the morning ritual for guitar growth. So let's come right back to that. I've got to get this program rolling. So if you don't mind, if servant, if you're around for a few minutes, we'd love to have you. We'd love to have your company. I just need to get moving. This is my morning ritual for guitar growth. Happens every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time, and it's a great little pocket of guitar on the internet. You know, it's a great little pocket of guitar, and we're actually doing really human things here, and enjoying it. I think, you know, I'm enjoying it. I think I'm enjoying it. You know, I think I remember what that feels like. I'll tell you where that comment comes from. Good morning, Jill. Great to see you. Taking time off the Dreadnought build, I see. Just working on getting the guitar dialed in. Almost there, guys. You know that uneasy feeling that you get when you're tuning in front of an audience and they're not really there to watch you tune? You know, one way to really get around that is to pre-tune your guitar, number one. But another way to get around that is to remember to focus on your breathing, right? There we go, I think. Almost there. For some reason, it's just giving me a whole bunch of grief this morning. But that's okay. Something's going on in the weather here. Go. We're ready to go. Let's go ahead and hit it. So we'll start with fingers 2 and 3, or 3 and 4 rather, on frets 10 and 12, and we'll get through the 2-finger permutations. And yeah, we go. Mark, yeah. Don't forget to smash that like button. Good morning, Robbie. Good morning. Fear nothing. Dread not. Oh, that's a great t-shirt. Not to dread, you know. You got a photograph of the 000 and then a dreadnought side by each. Great little t-shirt. All right. Go with this. All right. A little messy this morning, but let's go ahead and get started. So we're a little late. And we're starting with the fingers 3 and 4, and finally here with the guitar. That tuning session was, I don't know, do you guys ever like have days where you hear, one of my good friends and early mentors, and you know, we used to play some dates together, and just a great, one of the great guitar players. And anyway, I won't mention his name because I'm not really going to name drop every single time I'm on the internet. So, but a wonderful guitar player, and he used to talk about the barometric pressure in his neighborhood. You know, would change the way he would hear the guitar. You know, some days the hearing was like spot on, and other days he struggled to hear the sound of the guitar, to hear it breathe and live and stuff. So he attributed it to some sort of environmental thing. And you know, there's a lot of voodoo in certain circles in the guitar industry, in any instrument industry. When you've been playing a lifetime of guitar or chitarra, there is some voodoo to be had. You know, there's some of that stuff going on. But you notice that if you're in astrophysics, you know, nuclear science, or whatever you're into, there are these little subtleties that only an experienced, you know, practitioner might really appreciate. This is a little bit of a chore this morning for me. I've noticed, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've started to hold my fret hand a little differently from the beginning of the year, so that's one of the things I'm noticing. Or yeah, it could be that T-shirt for the the OM players, the dreadnought, and just a picture of a guitar with the, you know, the outline of the contours of the triple O. Maybe even sort of more abstract than that, half of that image, just the side curve. Man, there's so many things to do in life. And I'm so glad that you're here with me this morning, just working on guitar stuff. And we're taking it a little bit, we're just kind of getting it, you know, we're treating it with a little bit of speed so we can try to play catch up a little bit. One thing I wanted to, you know, mention, if you are playing along with me today, you don't have to play at the speed that I'm playing. You know, you play at your own comfortable speed if it's one note per click. If you're not even using a metronome, because we're still trying to figure out, we're still trying to sort through which finger to use and how close to be to each side of the string with a pick, or whether am I supposed to use downstrokes and upstrokes, or just all downstrokes or all upstrokes. If we're still sorting through some of the fundamental things, that's okay. Just take your time and enjoy it, you know. And just play at your own speed, and you can play along. And by the time we get to the end of the exercise and move on, you can catch up with us, or you can just move along at your own rate of speed and just have some fun with it. That's the trick, you know. It's so important just to have fun and to be able to smile and have a good time with an experience that the Dalai, one period of time, once upon a time, I used to have, my mom gave me this, you know, it was a peel away calendar. It was just a desktop calendar. And so every time we'd go on a walk, you know, she would teach me through, you know, parables. Her being the Christian, you know, a good Christian angel that she is. And she would teach me through parables, and she would just love to watch her family grow. And so one year I got this, it was a peel away calendar. And I kept it on my desk, that I almost burned down, but that's another story. I almost burned the whole, I almost burned the whole 2, 3, 4-story brick building down, but we won't get into that. Oh boy, what a time. But anyway, on that cherry, it was a hand-carved cherry sort of nightstand, you know, a side table. You know, the things of beauty that you want to keep and maintain. I still have the table today, so it didn't burn that severely, but there is a mark on the top, a little memory mark. But on top of that table, and this isn't just a memory, these are the things that happen as we sort of walk through the guitar warm-up together. This peel-away calendar had a yellow plastic base, and it was, you know, it's like a square stack of, you know, peel-away sheets that, you know, October 7th, and then on the top would be a quote from the Dalai Lama, right? So the Dalai Lama was in my life every day, because I taught back in those days. I used to teach I don't know, 7 or 8 hours a day or more, 7 days a week. You know, I just wanted to get as good as I possibly could get at the guitar, and I'd show up an hour or two early and warm up, even though I didn't really need to warm up. You know, we've covered probably thousands and thousands and thousands of songs, and both popular and classical, flamenco, jazz. You know, a lot of conceptual things too. That everyone's different. But what I did come back to every day was a new day, and the Dalai Lama. What a great, you know, those little sayings that he would, those little quotes from the Dalai Lama was, and it was almost always something to do with not happiness, because that's a situation of circumstance. I'm happy that I have a guitar to play. Well, I'm joyful that I'm playing the guitar. I'm joyful. I don't have a guitar. I can still be joyful sitting on a street corner, on a pavement, on a concrete block, having nothing. I can still experience joy, right? I can hopefully still, those things are not situational. Joy is not situational. And so one of those things, I'm so glad that somehow I got back on that track, because that's large in part like why I continue to play, why I continue to sit here. Stale fish, good morning, good morning. I can't remember where, oh, I'm missing some comments. I can't remember where I heard this, but the guitar name Dreadnought came from the Baptist worship at the time. Oh, yeah, the Dreadnought, right, sure. That makes sense. Stale fish, good morning, good morning. Let's say hi to everybody before we move on. Blaine, you're back. Blaine, Stalefish is back. We've got some newcomers that are going to become oldcomers pretty soon. I appreciate you being here with us. You know, I'm not left-handed, and I've tried switching the mirror and the phone. I broadcast with a phone for this particular series. For now, 2026 is going to look a lot different, but for the remainder of this year, I'm going to keep it super easy, super low barrier for entry. And for whatever reason, YouTube won't allow me to flip or mirror the image, even though I have it selected in the setting of the camera settings on the iPhone. So I've been through this with them, I don't know how many times. I have a YouTube account manager, and I have a personal contact, and I have all of those connections, but it's just one of those things that's not bubbling. It's not bubbling up from the bottom to the top fast enough, you know. I could turn the camera around. What I found is then it would be broadcast correctly, but then you can't hear what I'm saying. So, and I don't have, you know, I have an audio, universal audio Volt 1 that doesn't seem to, it seems to work when I'm recording with like GarageBand on the phone, but it doesn't seem to work as a microphone interface when I'm just live broadcasting, let's say with an iPhone. So I haven't found a really great solution for that yet, so that's why we're still backwards. But it hasn't been because I haven't been trying. So I appreciate you asking that. Dalai Lama walks into a pizza shop and, all right, I've got to pre-read this. Can you make me one with everything? Perfect. So let's go ahead and start working fingers 2 and 3 and 4, and we're starting just the warm-ups. I don't, you know, it's not a beautiful thing to watch, you know. It is what it is, you know. I know I'd rather watch someone perform songs, but I really try to engage in my warm-up, and I think it's so important. It's such a monumentally important thing to do that we all talk about and don't do. So I wanted to be sure and model this for an entire year and take the first lesson or the first live stream that I did from this year And I'm going to take the last live stream that I do from this year, and I am going to compare the two and see exactly what changed, what benefited me longitudinally from spending 260 hours plus with the guitar over this warming up with the guitar, spanning 1 year. So we will have some great, simple longitudinal data. We'll collect a spreadsheet full of reflections, and then I'll finally be able to report out what happens when we practice for 200, or not practice, warm up for 260 hours for 1 whole year, 1 hour a day, right? All right. Whew. So fingers 1 and 2 and 3, and on 9, 10, 11, and we're going. And they're off. Yeah, Seabiscuit's coming around the inside corner. It's so funny that anyone would be here practicing without a guitar. I have friends who come by, say hi once in a while. I have friends who are here every single time I'm here, which is a devotion I did not expect. I did not expect to see people showing up every day, right? And it's a surprise to me, especially since there's no, the production value's very, relatively very low. It's a mobile phone on the front-facing selfie camera. I'm recording and broadcasting backwards, so it's just not something I expected to have any attention, at all. And so, this is probably doing more. I don't know if it's doing more damage. When you look at my statistics on my YouTube channel, it's hard to tell right now whether this is helping or hindering my data on my channel. But if people are going to be here, that's great. I prefer it if people are here, but I also understand that what I'm doing is something that it's specifically for myself. This is the morning ritual for guitar growth, and every morning I like to engage with it. And this is literally my warm-up. This is probably, 20%, maybe 15% of what I actually do for warm-up. These exercises really don't span the whole warm-up, and then we're talking about practicing the guitar is a different thing for me than warm-up is. Yeah, and it should be a different thing because it is different. So warming up is different than going around the corner at 150 miles an hour. Do you know what I mean? You don't really just start up and do that. You gotta warm up to it. So warming up is essential, in any field, any discipline, that. And for some reason, no one really talks about filming the warm-up or glorifying the warm-up and the time that's spent behind this. There are these little glimpses, behind the scenes. And I thought maybe it would be a good idea to be able to look back and actually have a track record of warming up with the guitar, at least for 1 year, 1 full year. And I made a commitment to myself to do that. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Tracking my capacity to commit to something that isn't always paying me back immediately. Because I believe that it is paying me back, but I believe that I will still, I haven't seen the full realization of the fruits of this labor yet. And that's where faith is a huge part of my existence, Things seem to just sort of somehow work out. but I do have to admit, I am mindful of prayer. I am praying a lot. And I do read and observe the good word, you know, frequently. But is it for everyone? You know, I don't know. I think so. I think that's the idea. It's for many. This warm-up is you know, this kind of thing isn't for all of us. It's not intended for everyone to show up every day, right? It's not dependent on that, right? The warm-up is going to be done whether I broadcast it here or not, whether you show up or not. There is going to be, whether you witness it or not, there is going to be a warm-up being done, right? That's the idea. The idea is the warm-up occurs even in the void, even with the absence of attention. So, important stuff. So fingers 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and we're finally back to being a 4-fingered guitar player. Congratulations this morning, we made it. You know, after that tuning debacle this morning, it wasn't really a debacle, but it did take, you know, a good 8, 9, or 10 minutes to sort of get comfortable with the tuning this morning. And sometimes it's the old dead strings just hanging on for dear life. Sometimes it's the barometric pressure in the air. Sometimes it's I didn't get enough sleep last night. Sometimes it's, you know, my beauty sleep. Who knows what it is, but we made it. And we're almost on time. I guess we're back to being on time here, aren't we? We've been focusing pretty hard. So at the top of the hour, after we finish all of the 4-finger exercises, we'll go ahead and do a finger stretch. I'm just looking at this lamp over here, and I'm watching a little something, just a tiny little thing crawling around on the paper here. Finding its way. We had a kitty show up in the middle of the night last night. One of our cameras. We have cameras all over the properties, but we had a little kitty, a black cat that got picked up last night. Just came up on the back porch, looked around, and took off. Didn't stick around. Heard the dogs bark inside. Didn't seem to faze it too much. Yeah, I know it. Isn't that funny? I watched some of the other videos where I wasn't mirrored and I almost didn't recognize you. It's a whole different ballgame, isn't it? A whole different, yeah. I guess I'm going to do a few of these permutations. Mindful of the breath though, you know, and I'm really trying to enter the flow state. Notice a little bit of wrist movement. A little turning, a little up and down. While focusing on the breath, super important. Here we go, fingers 1, 2, 3, stretch 4. Let's take a look at this. 1, 2, 3, stretch 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're back to the 4 attacks per beat. And I'm doing this thing with I really like to tap out the quarter notes, or the metronomic pulse, you know, especially at this tempo, because it's so easy to get the body sort of involved and invested and paying attention, you know. So I've got this left, right, left, right, left, right. All these different feels and different permutations are just wonderful to be able to sort of weave in and out of. Those are great things to start working 4 attacks, 3 attacks, 2 attacks, you know, 1 attack, 6 attacks, 7 attacks, 8, all in the span of 1 beat, right? Those are great things to do. Love those things. Oh, we've got a Robbie comment here. When we stretch, can you give us the link to this lesson chant? Oh, there you go. Good idea. Thank you for reminding me about that. We're going to stretch right here. We've got this 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got a free lesson. That's right. Yesterday we didn't talk about it at all. So if you are interested, you know, there aren't many of us here. So I'm really only offering this through to the live chat. You know. So if you're interested in sort of hooking up for a free guitar session, you know, free guitar teaching, it's 45 minutes, and my usual rate now, it used to, you know, it depends on about what I'm doing, but my current rate is, it's fairly lofty, you know, in my opinion, you know, it's fairly lofty. It's sort of like if you wanted to buy let's say a 1-month program, we can do that, but you know, if you have to really want to do it, you know what I mean? It's not something that the price isn't just for, you know, come and let's kick the tire around. The price is it is something where, you know, if you were going to engage with a person like me, it's not that I'm better or worse than anybody else. It's just that I've done a number of other things in my life that contribute to my my regular fee, which I won't get into here. But what I am doing is I am giving away a free, like Zoom or Google Meet, whatever, Google Hang. It used to be like Hangout or whatever, but Google Meet. If you're interested in a free guitar lesson with me, 45-minute session. It includes, you know, a phone call to warm everything up, so we're ready to hit the road, a 45-minute session, and then like a binder specifically remarking about what we do together. So to me, if I'm a guitarist interested in learning more about the guitar, you know, I'm all over anything like that. If I saw anyone who was remotely close to being a legitimate, you know, detail-oriented, like, guitar tutor, guitar player, man, I just wanted to, I don't know, I just remember hanging off of every little thing. And if I can be close to a representation of that for someone, that's just great. You know, I still, I do keep a little bit of time because of production calendaring. My current schedule is just prohibitive of you know, one-on-one teaching, but I do keep a few hours a week open for people who want to jump on board. So if you want a free session, I'm going to share a link in just one moment. So here's fingers, this kickstand exercise. So fingers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8, 10, 11, 12. So don't forget, you know, things that, you know, it's really important for me to understand why it is, you know, why am I doing this thing? And I have to continually remind myself, why am I showing up on the internet every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time to play the guitar and just warm up, you know, why? There must be a reason behind all of this, right? And I'm not confused about the answer. I already know why. But yeah, we want to ask ourselves the great why more frequently than not. So if you stick around, when we start stretching, I'm going to give us a little moment so that if you wanted to email, there are going to be some instructions about how to enter to win a free guitar session with me. And if you're just getting to know me and watching this, you know, this live chat might not be all that appealing to you. But if you've seen some of the other videos on my channel, if you've seen some of the other things that we've accomplished over time, it might become more realistic for you to become interested in that. But I am offering a free, I'm going to dial up this, I'm going to share this link right now. And this is not something I do very much. I don't do this often because it does consume a little time, but the link I'm sharing right now is a link for us, for one of us to get to know each other a little bit more, deepen our internet relationship, you know, to the point where we're actually doing a one-on-one lesson. We're doing a free private lesson. This right here, I'm going to push send on this right now. It should enter your live chat here now. It should be, there it is. And then so you can win a free guitar lesson if you would like. If you just follow those instructions, and you can easily just get, if you're interested in guitar, you know. I don't know what else to say about it. What's up? Good morning. Great to have you here. But it is something that you're really going to have to think about beforehand. I really want you to think about three things, you know, three short-term goals. Where do I see myself? This is what I really want in the email, right? If you're going to sign up, what I really want is three things. Where do I see myself? Three short-term goals. Where do I see myself in by Christmas, let's say, Christmas 2025? Where do I see myself with the guitar by Christmas time? And then three short. Do I want to play a Christmas song? Do I want to play a, do I want to learn a Chet Atkins song? Do I want to learn a Merle Haggard? You know, what do I want to learn how to play the C major chord, the C, you know, all of the triads and inversions, or what, you know, melodies? Do I want to become a better soloing guitar player? What are the three goals? Three short-term goals. And then I also am going to need three long-term goals. Where do I see myself in 5 years? Am I still playing the guitar? Well, am I still around? You know, hopefully. But am I still playing the guitar? Am I in a band? Am I doing open mics? Am I making records? Am I writing songs? Am I going to music school? Am I starting my own YouTube channel? So those three short-term goals, three long-term goals, and if you really wouldn't mind, just have those sort of in your mind ready to go. We want to talk about that stuff. I want to understand that before we do our session. But if you want to win a free guitar lesson, you could do this. Right here are the instructions right here in the live chat. So go ahead and check that out and just enter. You know, it'll be a lot of fun. It's great time, and it's one of those things that it's a rare moment for us to get together and focus just solely on you. Focus solely on what you want to do with the guitar. And then we can approach that. You know, if you have a strategy, I want to play in a touring band, I want to be in a gypsy jazz band, we could probably figure that out. You know, want to write music to save the world. You know, we can probably develop a strategy. You know, we work with a little network of writers and you know, just have our humble little existence. So maybe we'll see you again in the email. Let's see, where are we going with this? There we go. All right, so 1E and 2, we're diagonaling right now. Yeah, we're back at it. I do have a surprise song for you, so if you're sticking around for the last 10 minutes, in about 5 minutes or so, we'll start breaking down this song that we haven't heard for a long time. It's immediately recognizable, and it has some really great slap and pop techniques on the acoustic guitar and its finger style. Do you have any ideas which song I might be talking about? It's really, you know, I think it's a generally sort of like well-known song. If you ever listen to American popular radio, or watched MTV back in the day, you definitely are familiar with this song. And it's in the key of G. We work through an open position. We work through some, let's see, chordal inversions of G. We do a number of different things. And then we keep rhythm based on, you know, some, you know, maybe slapping the strings with the side of the thumb and articulating the chord strum, or it's the chord sort of stab with the index, middle, ring fingers. And the guitar player from the band is just pretty well known, and they're still relevant today. They're still playing music today. They just had, you know, a really great video. The guitar solo that broke the internet, Mr. Rick Beato actually covered the song just because the guitar solo was so cool. Broke the song down and said, hey, look, this guy is just killing the electric guitar. And so we're just going to revisit an old song from that band today, and you'll be like, oh yeah, I haven't heard that song for ages. I always wanted to learn how to play it, or I know how to play it and I haven't played it for a long time, and it's so great to hear it because it's like visiting with an old friend, you know? Yeah, give you a little, there's a little secret right there. Do you ever just kind of like stumble on these like little riffs that you want to learn and sort of like practice and absorb into your... I do this all the time. So let me go ahead and just tell you what I do. You know, when I find these little licks, I want to just basically dial it in, focus on tone, and try to play it as many different ways as I can. Hey, Tessa, good morning. Have you seen the, I did Jolene. If you go back here at Jason Carey Guitar on YouTube, and you go back and you search through my videos, my lesson videos, my tutorials, I have hundreds and hundreds of videos. And you can find that I did Dolly Parton's Jolene. So if you're really interested in that, I did break it down, and I forget exactly what I did, but it's a really great lesson. It's a really great video. I'm sure you'll appreciate it, and maybe you can, if you do go look at it, would you do me a huge favor and just give me some feedback on it? Like, if you wanted to see some more of it or different things, like I would love it. It's such a great song. I would love to expand on it. So if you do take the time, Tessa, to go and look at that video, if you learned anything from it, I certainly would appreciate you liking, sharing, and subscribing and all of that obligatory YouTube stuff. But even more important than that, I'd love to hear what you had to think about it. Do you know what I mean? That is so important. If it was a good speed, a good pace, slow, fast, want more detail, that's the kind of stuff that I really benefit from, because if you're here and you're taking the time to learn the guitar, that's specifically what I'm interested in. You know, does it look okay? Does it, you know, any sort of critiques or constructive responses, that's appreciated. You know, it's not obviously expected. You can just go watch the video and have some fun. Watch it, don't watch it. But if you do have some time to drop some feedback, I really appreciate it. And so if you wanted to earn a free lesson, you can follow the directions right here. And this is running, what's today? Thursday. This is running until tomorrow, and then we'll be announcing the winner on the beginning of next week right here in this live chat. So follow the instructions in this pinned comment here, and maybe we meet each other on the internet. You know, it's Zoom, or it's going to be you know, Google Meets, or it's going to be like you know, probably not FaceTime, but it could be FaceTime. We FaceTime with some, you know, whatever you think works best. But exciting times. This is free. This is a high dollar ticket item, right? This is a I can just tell you that what is going on here is worth you know, I'm just giving away. It's just in an effort to meet you. It's got a high dollar. It's a high ticket item. You know, of course that's all debatable, but you know, it is what it is. We're 20 minutes in, we're 10 minutes out from the end, so why don't we just go ahead. I think we've gotten through all of the warm-up that we need to, and let's see if let's see if Michael was correct. Oh, you're most welcome, Tessa. I appreciate that. So the first chord we need to learn, right, is G5, and I'm just going to show you the fingering. Oh, you can see there's a little bass guitar sitting right there. Everything's topsy-turvy around here. So we have the G5, and I'm starting with finger 2 on the low E string, and I'm also choking off the A string by like just doing some bad technique. You know what I mean? Open 2 middle strings, and then 3rd finger, or the or the third finger, you know, can double stop the top two strings, or the third and fourth fingers can play the top two strings. So here's the basic, the fundamental pattern right here. Now you've seen the chord, I'm not going to move it yet, right? So the thing that we need to get done, the thing I want to do, I want to focus on, let's come back over here and just really focus on right hand technique. Oh, there's my Ibanez. It's the RG420 HPFM or whatever, yeah. Anyway, cool guitar, really cool guitar. Little Ferrari sitting there ready to explode. So I'm not over plucking the strings, just kind of nice and easy. So you could either grab the top, I think it's just the top two strings. I have to go back and listen to the song. All right, let's do that much. So it's thumb resting, it comes through the low E string, it comes to rest on the A string, and then comes, I'm using only the index and middle fingers to grab that chordal remark, and it looks like Michael was right. You can see that right here. I'm looking at more than words right here. Very nice, man. It only took you like 2 notes to figure that out. So this is a really interesting pattern. Basic, like a fundamental pattern. It's like riding a bike, I guess. And if I use too much effort on my picking hand, I'm just going to completely not be able to do this. So I want to treat this with love and care, you know. So I'm just thinking the thumb comes down, rests on the A string, through the low E string, and then index and middle fingers. Or it could be just the index finger, but I'm using the pair of those. And then I'm coming down. I'm kind of like, it's like slapping the bass. You know, you've got something on your thumb, some like slime on your thumb, and you're like trying to get it off there. That's the kind of movement we're looking for. Maybe not quite at that velocity, but. And what I'm doing is I'm laying all of the hand down, and why this works is because I'm laying this down. This surface is flat now, right? All of this chokes out the string set. At the same time, it pushes all of the strings down, and all of the strings come in contact with the fretboard. I don't know how we can see that, but you can hear that metal on metal sound, and that's what we're looking for. You could also get the slap and the pop. This sounds great when you have your guitar lined into a digital audio workstation, or you're playing in a studio with your headphones on and you have a little reverb, or you're playing in a cathedral. You could do that slap and the pop that Mr. Tommy Emmanuel does is really remarkable and fun stuff to this is the beginning of that, right? Only we're strumming on the string set, you know. There's stuff going on here that you can do with your guitar. There's a lot of stuff that we can do that and I guess amplifies. We can add some percussive value to the guitar. But this song was the first, I remember this song is the first song that I remember really learning where that was a main feature of the track. So I remember practicing this a long time just to get that feel. And I would slow it down. And I remember loving to slow things down, even though it was frustrating. I remembered that breathing would always carry me through, and if I felt any frustration sort of creep in, I always had teachers and folks sort of remind me that if you can control your breath, you can accomplish anything, right? And it's just a simple way to say just breathe, you know. So. There are some other things happening here. More than words, there you go. That's the intention anyway for the moment, you know. You get to sing it before the show ends. You got to sing it before the, oh, all right. What is the, saying I love you. I would love to sing it. I'd love to do it, but I'm going to get a copyright strike, and I wish I would. I wish I could. Thank you for the incentive, Michael. Hug from Brazil, Ghostface. All right, so if you're new here, I'm Jason. I'm just getting ready to wrap it up. I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and I'm doing my morning ritual for guitar growth, and it's my actual honest to goodness, I mean, at least it's part of my warm-up routine, and it's probably, I don't know if it's like 20% of my warm-up routine, but I'm here for 1 hour, and I work through, you know, some very basic sort of fundamental finger techniques, and we've been gathering more and more techniques as we go, and more stuff as we go. And you know, if you've been here all year long, and if you're going to, I'm going to be, the plan is to be here until the end of 2025 and into and through 2026. I think that's the plan, but 2026 is going to look a little different. But if you're here and you enjoy what's going on, I hope to see you again. And oh, there's some changes in there too that we didn't quite get to, but you get the right idea. So might even get a strike for that. You know what I mean? I'm not sure, but that's what I'll be listening to today. Thanks for mentioning that song. What a great tune, you know, just one of those great ones, you know. Thank you for being here. My time, our time together for the morning is complete, and I wouldn't dream of keeping you beyond this because I know your time is irreplaceable and valuable. And don't forget, if you'd like to, you can sign up to win a free guitar lesson with me. And there are instructions here, pretty simple on how to do it. And I'll be here again tomorrow morning. So here we go. Robbie, good morning again. We probably all had their long hair back in the day. Thanks for your time. Yeah, I had it down to my bottom. Used to have it braided, yeah. Oh man, I miss those days. Certainly, we'll dig up another one tomorrow. Any ideas, let me know. Email me, grow@jasoncareyguitar.com. Email me anytime you like. Take good care of yourselves, and